very much. We're here with Kevin and Kasia from the ICTU, who were the other partners in this particular project. Do you want to say anything about your participation? It's okay.
Well, our participation came from. We've worked with the GT Gallery on a number of projects, and on this occasion, our role in this really came about as a result of the racist incidents that came on the back of the Polish Northern Ireland football match, when a group of Polish football fans caused a bit of chaos in the village area, and then there was racist incidents on the back of it, and a number of Polish families and Eastern European families were put out of the area. Now, we recognised that this was not representative of the people of the village area, but when this project came up, we saw this as an opportunity to deal with sort of the myths that fuel racism. You know, the everyday myths, like there's too many of them here, they're taking all our jobs, which are not actually based on facts when you look at it. And we saw there's an opportunity to link in with the wider project, which was looking at the proud culture and heritage, and particularly industrial heritage within the village area. And we thought if we use this also then to talk about how migration is a normal part of everyday life in all countries across the world, and even in areas within Belfast.
Yeah, I like the way specifically they were talking about, you know, it's migration within Belfast.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, you know, you might, there was a lady in one of the give and take things, she was talking about she used to live in Sandy Row, and then her house was, say, section, it's not requisitioned, and she had to move then further on up into the village. And it was just, for her, it was like, you know, you're going to another village, really, and there's that kind of migration that goes around Belfast. And I know within the work that I've done, you know, people who, wherever they live, there's all sorts of reasons why people are living where they're living, you know.
That's right. And you hear the jokes about, say, people moving from the Shankill Road over to East Belfast. You know, they would say, have you got your passport with you, or something like that. You know, there is this big territorial issue within Belfast, but we also took it back. We looked to how people actually came to the village in the first place, when the village was built at the turn of the last, just before the turn of the last century, or the 20th century, the 19th century, where people had come in from the countryside, or people had come across from Scotland as well, so that, you know, and into the city, you know. And when you appreciate that what brought them there was jobs, the same way that the migrant community that coming from, mainly from Eastern Europe, are the same thing, and they become established with different times, with different groups of migrants coming into Belfast, coming into Ireland, coming into Northern Ireland, and they've become totally integrated and part of the community. You can hear Italian names in Belfast, you can hear Jewish names, you can know all sorts of names which are now firmly part of Belfast.
And from your point of view, is it interesting to be involved in the project?
Well, definitely. You know, I'm a migrant myself, so that's why it was kind of, you know, interesting for me to get involved in that and being part of the ICTU as well. This project looks at kind of the common themes of migration, so people from kind of going from here somewhere else and people from somewhere else moving to here. So we're looking at both kind of local and global and international aspects of migration, of how people get displaced for different reasons. They migrate for jobs, some people are, you know, refugees, but different kind of reasons why people move from one place to another. And we kind of linked it with the birds as well, you know. How, yes, I thought that was brilliant as well.
Just like a really lovely touch on it, because it just brings it in at a whole other angle. And I know my husband's not from here, and sometimes just when people, you know, kind of realise that and they start talking, you know, it is that thing of, what are you doing here? You know, why are you here? So, you know, where do you live? I live in East Belfast. No, you couldn't possibly, you know. And it's certainly for me, it's been very interesting, him being acclimatised or seeing that, or even the reactions, you know, to that. Sometimes really just ignorance, and other times just in a kind of just not knowing kind of way. And, you know, so I think I love the bit about the birds and, you know, how all that comes in.
And I think it's fantastic that kind of that Belfast and Northern Ireland have become this very kind of multicultural place that, you know, people come here, you know, that they settle, they stay here with their families, they mix, you know, and there's the mixture and the different talents that they bring with them, you know, the cooking, whatever, you know, the music and all that. That is, you know, it's good that it's becoming part of the fabric here, you know, and I'm not kind of talking just selfishly from my point of view, but many people who are from here say that's really a good thing that migrants came over, because that kind of diluted the, you know, the old divisions between the Protestants and Catholics, and the place kind of opened up, and I think it's, you know, it's a good thing.
Then I saw somebody that recently was saying they came over for 2 months and then they just went, you know, this is really nice, I'm staying, you know, or that thing of, well, I'll just try it out, and then go, do you know, actually, you know, we actually have it quite good in a lot of aspects of things. You know, Belfast can be very down on itself, or Northern Ireland can be very down on itself, but it's actually got an awful lot of really good things going for it, and we have to be reminded of that.
Absolutely. You're going to find some of the people have come here for jobs and they will leave again. But there will be a large percentage will actually stay here and make this their homes and blend in their community. As Kasia says, like, it has widened the outlook of people. The migration basically coincided with the establishment of the peace process. You know, and I think as Kasia has mentioned, this has given a new perspective for people in Northern Ireland, that where it was we saw everything internationally through the context, the prism of our own conflict. And this has just opened that up, broadened it out. And there's no doubt it has had an effect, positive effect on sectarianism and racism, I think, as well. People say, there was a recent survey about a couple of years ago that said that Belfast was the racist capital. That was absolute nonsense. It was just really about that the police had started recording these statistics, and so it looked quite big, you know, there was a massive jump, when it wasn't actually true. There is racism in Belfast, there's racism everywhere in every country, but it is not as big here as what that survey portrayed. And I think people are now starting to mix them. As they accept new communities, they're going to accept the existing communities as well. I just think it's a perfect time, and it's been so beneficial economically and socially, and to the politics in this country.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.